So my ex-wife just called me out of the blue, asking if I'd take her as my +1 to our son's wedding. Why? Because he didn't invite her. This whole thing goes back 6 years. My daughter was 12 and came home early from soccer practice one day. She walked into our bedroom and found my wife in bed with another man. She didn't make a scene or anything, just quietly closed the door and went straight to her brother's room. He was 14. She told him what she'd seen. He went downstairs to check for himself, and yeah, it was happening. The two of them just sat together in his room, waiting for me to get home from work. The moment I walked in, they pulled me aside. My daughter was shaking like a leaf. My son couldn't stop clenching his fists. They told me everything. I went upstairs and saw it with my own eyes. My wife didn't even try to lie about it. She just broke down crying, saying it didn't mean anything. I filed for divorce that week. When we got to the custody hearing, both kids told the judge they wanted to live with me. I got primary custody. She got 1 week a month. 2 weeks after everything was finalized, she moved in with the guy. For the next 6 years, I kept things completely business with her. Pickup time, school expenses, that's it. Nothing personal. Maybe a month after she moved out, she called me pissed off. Said the kids were making her life hell during her custody weeks, wouldn't talk to her, stayed locked in their rooms, the whole 9 yards. She wanted me to fix it. I sat them down that night and asked if it was true. They admitted they hated being at her place, hated being around him. I get it, I told them. But I also said it would be easier on everyone if they could just stay civil until they turned 18. That way we wouldn't end up back in court making everything worse. I wasn't asking them to forgive her, just to keep the peace. They agreed. After that conversation, she never complained to me again. I figured they'd work something out, that they were just being polite during visits and counting down the days until they could make their own choices. My son turned 18 2 years ago. He moved back in with me full-time and started college. He'd still drop by her place sometimes when his sister had her custody weeks. He graduated last spring and got engaged to his girlfriend of 3 years. My daughter turned 18 last summer. She moved back in with me the same day. Then yesterday, my ex called, first time in months. She was already crying when I picked up. Our son didn't invite her to the wedding. Invitations went out last week and she never got one. Then she told me something I didn't know. Our son hasn't spoken to her in over a year. He stopped visiting during his sister's custody weeks when he was around 19.
And my daughter?
Stopped answering her calls the day she turned 18. Blocked her number. Won't respond to texts, nothing. She was sobbing at this point and asked if I'd bring her as my +1 so she could at least see her son get married. I told her if our son didn't invite her, it wasn't my place to override that decision. She absolutely lost it. Started screaming that I'd turned them against her, poisoned them, that she was going to take me back to court and force me to fix this. I told her there's no custody agreement anymore. They're adults. They make their own choices. Then I hung up. That night I sat down with both of them. Asked them straight up if they cut contact with their mother. They both said yes. I told them they didn't have to do that for me, that she's still their mother, and they shouldn't feel like they have to pick sides. My son looked right at me and said, "We're not doing this for you, Dad. We planned this when we were kids. We decided the day we caught her that we'd wait until we turned 18 and then we'd be done." My daughter nodded. Mom destroyed our family. We don't want her in our lives. But I asked if they were sure, reminded them she'd probably be at graduations, future weddings, be around when they're grandkids someday. My son said, "She won't be at my wedding. She's not meeting my kids. I'm done." I told them I'd support whatever decision they made as adults. This morning, my sister called. She somehow heard about the whole wedding thing, said my son was being cruel and unfair, that I needed to make him invite his mother. I said, he's 20 years old. I'm not making him do anything. She said a mother has a right to see her son get married, regardless of what happened. I asked her if a mother has a right to cheat on her family. She hung up on me. The wedding's in 8 weeks.